is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
It's a rather dreary day here in Los Angeles. Well, technically this is Culver City, and we're doing some filming locations to a movie called Tron. Now our special guest is Sean Clark, and Sean Clark happens to absolutely love this movie. Am I right?
Greetings, program. Yes, I do. So true story, I actually have a custom Flynn jacket being made. The one he wears in the film with the red sleeves. Yeah. There's a company in New Zealand that makes them, and they're made to order, and I'm having one made right now. Oh. It's super 80s, but it's awesome. Gotta have it.
There's nothing special about you. You're just an ordinary program.
So are you. One that should have been erased.
Finish the game! No!
I saw it in the theater when I was a kid. I was, I guess, probably 11 years old. 12 in 82. I turned 12 in 82, so. But yeah, it just had an effect on me. And the sequel, I loved the sequel. I know people are kind of on the fence about the sequel. I think it's gotten more love recently, but I love the sequel too. So that's where I scored this beautiful Adidas.
I noticed that.
Boom.
I was going to point it out. I'm glad you took the jump before I did.
Yeah, this is there was a Tron pop-up store actually opened right down the street.
Down past the Culver Hotel?
It's just down. I don't know if it's walking distance, but I know it's right over there somewhere. We can probably find it after we shoot here. But they did a pop-up store for about, I want to say, it was there for a couple months when the movie opened, and it had all this exclusive merch, and Adidas did a line of clothing. They did hoodies, they did these track suits, like the tops, they did, there was like a snowboard, there was shoes, there was all kinds of crazy stuff. I spent so much money there, and I've got it all. I didn't get the snowboard. I regret it. The snowboard was way overpriced, and I would never use it. It would be a collectible that would just go on the wall, and I would never touch.
Now I have to point these out too, Sean. I am really digging your kicks. Go ahead and tell us about these.
Some company I'd never heard of, Osiris, I believe is what the name is. They did these limited Tron themed shoes. They did a Clockwork Orange pair too, which I also picked up. They're both hideous. I mean, I would never really wear these out. I bought them and I looked at them and said, yeah, I'll never wear these. But then when you asked me to do this video today, I said, I have to wear them. That's why they look new and they're like 15 years old.
They are perfect. Now, Sean, you mentioned Tron Legacy.
Yes.
And you know what? I grew up watching Tron too. Yeah. I'm not as into it as you are. Yeah. Much respect for it. But I remember whenever Tron Legacy came out, and I didn't see it until the movie came out on Blu-ray, and I got it, and I had this killer sound system. Yeah. And I put it on, and the soundtrack to Tron Legacy completely blew me away.
Yeah, Daft Punk killed it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and the fact they're in the movie too, which is super cool.
Are you ready to line up some shots?
I could do that. Let's do that.
Let's do this. There's not many. We got Flynn's Arcade, which you can see behind us. We're going to line up some things, talk about that, and then we're going to go to the ENCOM building, which is in downtown Los Angeles. I don't know if we can get inside or up to the helipad, but it's still there. And then there's one more that we can't visit, and that's up towards San Francisco in a place called Livermore Labs.
Yes.
Right? It's government owned.
Yeah.
And what do they have there?
They have a very big door.
Now that is a big door.
And I believe that's where all the lab scenes were done as well. So. And
aside from that, everything else was pretty much filmed on Disney sound stages, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it was just like black, actually just black empty rooms because everything was animated in for the most part. But as far as the laboratories, I doubt if you went there today, with the exception of the door, which is still there, I doubt that laboratory looks anything like it did with the way technology has changed.
And we walk through the scene a little bit, and of course, depth of field, the cameras are a little bit different, but as soon as you get past the title card for Tron, the camera goes down inside the letters, and then it turns into the streets, and then we're introduced to Flynn's Arcade from right about this angle. That building, it's still here. It's a restaurant called Akasha. Pretty popular restaurant here in Culver City.
Never been there.
No, never been there, but that was the arcade in the second floor. We're gonna get a closer look at it. That's where Jeff Bridges, his office was.
Yeah, his little bachelor pad. There was this whole sort of thing you could tell that was going on there that was kind of not spoken because it was a Disney film. But there was that one, if you remember the scene where he's heading upstairs, this one cute kind of girl comes up and she's all, Flynn. He's like, I'll see you later. He's like, kind of like, you'll get your tokens later,
Back in the 80s, arcades were the thing. If you had an arcade, or if you were good, that was like
a whole nother term of user,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he knew what was going on. Flynn had it all, man. He talked like he was all depressed that they stole his games, but dude, he was like the king of the castle. Had his name on the building, and he was the man. It was all in the wrists, So, right across the street here, and the side of the arcade, is where Alan and Lori pulled up in the van. Boom. Right here, they got out and they headed inside Flynn's Arcade. You can see the neon sign was just under that railing up there, and then it pans up to the very top of the roof. And you see the Space Paranoid sign, home of Space Paranoids. That's right, I say roof. That's the way I talk. California, roof. Like a dog, I bark.
You say roof, I say roof. It's the same thing.
Now, my girlfriend gives me crap for that too. She goes, roof, every time I say it. I don't know, tomato, tomato, right?
Street sign that we're telling you that you can see clear as day, that's it right there. Watseka.
I mean, you can it makes you wonder, like, if you look at those like holes.
Oh yeah.
If that was the thing that was holding it in, I think it is, because that makes sense. I think those are from when the sign was attached. What else would that be there for?
Right?
Perfect spots.
The front doors to Flynn's Arcade is right there, and you can see it clear as day because they walk right through the front door and they turn right down this way. And we know that because there's these windows on this side. They're spot on, they're still here. A lot has definitely changed. A lot of renovations, but this is it. This is where the arcade was, and we can confirm with the owners of the building, well, the people who run Akasha, that this is where they filmed the arcade scenes. Flynn's Arcade was actually here.
So based on what we looked at from the layout of where they head in the film, it appears that the Space Paranoids machine would have been right over here somewhere. And then after he wins and says it's all in the wrists.
Hey Flynn, how'd you do it? It's all in the wrists.
He then moves this way towards his office or loft. I believe the staircase would have been in this direction. I think it probably was shot here. I mean, it could have been a studio, but it appears you can see, I mean, that is one of those Hollywood tricks. You put a little bit in the background to make it look like it ties in. But those lights and everything, I think it probably was here. And we do know there is an upstairs loft, offices and stuff. So it's all very possible.
What you're looking at right now, that building, is the backside of what was Flynn's Arcade. Now there's a staircase that goes up to the second floor. Now in the movie, there was a staircase in the arcade that went up there.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
It's no longer there, renovations happen. But aside from this, towards the front, there's a little bit of a Tron Easter egg that is there now that wasn't there when they made the movie.
A little more of a tribute.
A little bit of a tribute with the staircase that goes up there.
So we talked to the owner of the cafe there, the restaurant where Flynn's Arcade used to be, and we asked him about this place next door and what's going on with it, because we knocked, we rang the bell, nobody's answering, nobody's home. Well, he said that it's a gaming company that opened up office space upstairs, and they did this as a little tribute to Tron, but it's probably caused them a lot more headache and bother than they probably expected, because there you go, because every nerd like me would be knocking at the door going, what the hell's going on? Sorry, I'm getting a call. Oh, it's Alan, just one moment. Alan 1, what can I do for you?
As he goes and takes that phone call, here it is, Flynn's Arcade.
So I suspect that the actual company is Chaotic Good, is the gaming company, but they have the Tron sign and everything. Now me personally, I mean, this is beautiful and mad props. I would have gone for the neon.
Right?
I would have just, yeah, you know, I would have went for the, you know, but I guess at this point you'd have to have it on the corner. I mean, everybody would be like, why didn't you put it on the corner? But this is pretty dope though. I give them big props for this. As a fellow nerd, much respect. So you might notice behind me is the historic Culver Studios. Now I have an interesting Tron related story that ties into this building, or those buildings over there to be precise. So when I was a journalist back in 2005, I think I was writing for Dread Central at the time, I did a set visit. I did several set visits on lots of movies. And we did a set visit on Monster House, which makes no sense because it was an animated film. But we're like, okay, you know, so we went, and what they ended up doing was taking us to the studios back here to show us all the animation and what they were prepping for it. And the director, Gil Keenan, was the one that took us and gave us the tour. Well, we parked over at Sony, and they drove us on a bus, all the journalists with him on the bus over here to these studios. As we were passing the Tron Arcade, Flynn's Arcade, I said to Gil, the director, hey, that's where they shot Tron. I said, that's Tron's Arcade. He lost his mind. Apparently Tron was one of his favorite films. He actually had us pull over. He was so freaked out by it and was like, oh my God, and was like, oh, that. Anyway, you know, and he's gone on to direct Poltergeist. He just wrote the new Ghostbusters movie. You know, he's the Poltergeist remake he directed. But yeah, he's an accomplished writer, director, and little Tron tie-in that has some history here while we're in town. So this used to be a place called Royal Tees, and they did a lot of pop-up stores. And this here, 8910, was where the Tron pop-up store was, the Tron Legacy pop-up store. See this incredibly fine looking jacket I'm wearing? Purchased right here. It's seen better days. I don't know how long it's been closed or out of business, but this is where it was. And that was back in 2010. God, I'm wearing a 12-year-old jacket. This is it. It was so cool. Like, they had, the walls were all glass, and like on the walls they had like all the circuitry and stuff like that, and it was all lit, all moody, and it just had the full Tron Legacy vibe. It was super cool, man. The merch they had was dope. They had great stuff. I came back here, I came to the store probably 4 or 5 times and just kept throwing down and buying more stuff because they kept adding new stuff.
Oh man, cool.
So, but yeah, so here's, since we're a walking distance from the arcade, it's a little extra bonus Tron Legacy, if you will. Tron Legacy. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Did you ever hear about Electronica?
No.
Electronica was a dedicated land they had at downtown, at Disney California Adventure. When Legacy came out, they had a whole Tron land They replicated Flynn's arcade with like that looked like that on the outside. They had, it was a full-on, like the whole time the park was open, because it was at that point, I believe the park was only open at night. And it was like a rave. Like they had, like all the cast were dressed up in the Tron outfits, like Gem, you know, like the hot girls and the, you know, and the outfits, and they were, you know, raving, and they had a, like kind of a Daft Punk sort of vibe, DJs, lights going crazy. You had to walk under a giant recognizer to get into it. They had a bar called the End of Line Bar. It was amazing. It went on for about a year, and it was epic. I was going to Disney so much. I had an annual pass then. I've had an annual pass since I was a kid, up until this new crap Magic Key garbage that they're pushing now. That stuff's lame. I haven't had an annual pass since they took my annual pass away. Thanks a lot, Disney. Appreciate it. All that years of love. This is what you do to me. Look, I'm repping your stuff. I've been lining the wallet of that mouse, and this is how you treat me. But anyway, it was epic. I was going like every night. It was so cool. And when they took it down, oh, heartbreak.
Well, we've made the trip down to downtown Los Angeles, downtown LA, DTLA, whatever you want to call it, because there's one other scene, well, not really a scene, there's one other location from Tron, and this is it, this giant building that's right.
ENCOM!
Oh man, all right, here we go.
This is where the MCP lives, the Master Control Program. This was his brain. This is his home. Dillinger's office.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you never really get to see a good clear shot of the side of the building, but aside from what happened on the inside, we really wish that we can get on the very top to the helipad, because at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie, you see the helipad, well, the helicopter landing.
So we attempted to get up to the helipad where the film ends. You know, this is like the epic ending greetings programs, you know, and they have their big moment. They've, you know, toppled Sark and Dillinger, and ENCOM is now theirs.
Try to look efficient. Here comes the boss. Pick me up in an hour. Thanks. Woo! Greetings program.
Well, unfortunately, no dice. We had a really nice guy at the front desk who was super accommodating, super nice guy, did a great job, should get a promotion in my book. Gave us a card of somebody we could call. That lady was not so nice. Her name was Tammy, very condescending, talked down to me, and basically made me aware that they do photo shoots for weddings and whatnot. And I said, well, okay, then we'll just rent it out like that, because we just want to do a photo shoot ourselves. And she was like, backpedaling, said, you know, well, it's $750 for 2 hours. I'm like, okay, let's, you know, what do I have to do? And then she was like, I think she thought she was going to shut me down on that too. It's like, lady, you know, we have money, we can do this. We're doing this for the people, and the people need to see this. And, you know, and price is no object when it comes to the people. Am I correct?
You're 100% correct.
Yeah, that's a Grimm Life's policy, he told me. And he was gonna pay for the whole thing. So anyway, they basically blew us off, email me, you know, like, I'll call your people, you call my people, blah, blah, blah. Basically, she gave us the, you know, so. Tammy Lee sucks at her job, because they could have made some money. What does it matter? Two people stand there going, like wedding photos, or us going, you know, because of Tron. Makes no difference. But anyway, because of her, we're not getting to see this beautiful helipad that's up there. There you go. That's my Tammy Lee rant, and I hope you enjoyed it.
All right, Sean, what do you know about the big door?
Well, first off, I know it's big. And he even says that in the film. emphasizes the bigness of the door. I do have an issue with the big door. I got to talk about the big door for a second. It's at Livermore Labs in San Francisco. It's completely off limits to the public. Maybe one day we'll get access. Who knows? Anybody from Livermore fan? Shout out! Come on, hit us up. Anyway, yeah. Think about it. This is a giant office building. Why did we have to go through the giant big door? I mean, there's probably tons of entrances, a lot more accessible than this ginormous door. I know it's because it looked cool. I'm into it. I get it. But just saying, kind of, if you think about it, they're trying to sneak in. You open the biggest, most secure door in the entire building. That's the one you're going to sneak in? Okay. That's pretty much all I know about the big door. So I hear you know something about the big door.
Not much.
More than I, though.
Well, no. So knowing about the big door and knowing that it's damn near impossible to get to, and it is a real place. And behind it, they actually do a lot of testing with metals and reactions for like nuclear testing and stuff like that, which is why you can't go there. But it truly is a big door. And when I say big, it's like 8 feet thick, 12 feet wide, and 97,000 pounds. It is massive. Now, if you go and you do some research online, back in 1979, there was a whole bunch of stuff written up about it. And in the shot, they show a woman opening the door by herself, this 97,000 pound door. And the reason that she can do that, or one person can do this, is they're in the hinges. They have special bearings that just allow this door to move freely.
Well, I did notice, if you see in the film, there's a ginormous lock bar, like on the other side, that you could obviously just push it open. But why did they need such a big door? I mean,
I don't know.
It's that's a good question. What are they moving in and out of there, or trying to keep out of there? And God forbid they ever have to replace the door. I've replaced the door in my house a couple times.
And I don't think we talked about this, but the big door is also in Tron Legacy. There's a scene where he goes there and he actually says it. It's like a throwback, a tribute to the original movie.
No, I wasn't sure. Is that the exact same location, or did they recreate it?
I think they recreated it.
Because they shot most of that in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Now that is a big door.
Now, to give you an idea of how much of a fan of Tron Sean is. I mean, not only are you dressed the part, and
not only does my name rhyme with Tron,
but from here, we're officially done visiting the filming locations that you can go and visit. We're gonna head over to his house for probably what is the biggest Tron collection.
No. There's definitely dudes out there that have a bigger collection, but I have a very impressive collection.
We'll say the biggest one that we have ever seen at Grimm Life Collective.
For sure.
How's that?
I've
heard stories about this.
I only say that because I believe the collection that was on display at El Capitan was privately owned by one guy, and if it was all this one dude's, it was rather impressive. But I have a pretty good Tron collection. I think you guys will dig.
Before we go, we have to make a promise. It's like we're not going to do like
a
the
Tronmas.
Yeah, we're going to make a promise.
Yes, Tronmas.
If the day ever comes where you get the phone call from Tammy Lee or somebody else that says, "Hey, I'm going to take you up there," or if you're ever going up to the top,
take a photo for you.
No, you son of a. Wherever we are in the world, we have to get the other person there. All right? From now, whether it's 50 years from now, if you're going up to the helipad, I got to come with. And the same thing
Vice versa. Okay, it's a deal.
Libmans don't live here anymore. What? Oh, wait. You have, like, hair sticks up, goofy looking? Yeah, he's in here.
Straight up Buffalo Bill.
Hey.
How you doing, Sean?
Come on in. We got puppies in here. Now that is a big door. So before we go up and see some of this stuff, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel. It's under my name, Malfunction. Real clever, right? Not really. But Malfunction is my YouTube channel, and I do a podcast with Christopher Nelson of makeup effects fame. You might know him from the Halloween 2018 or Halloween Kills, upcoming Halloween Ends, special effects makeup artist, Academy Award winning. He won Academy Award. Anyhow, yes, so I have that podcast with him called The Thing with Two Heads. I also do a horror filming locations thing called Horrors Hallowed Grounds, which I've been doing for a long ass time. Started that in like started doing locations in 96, but that officially 2003, I think. And then I also branched out to non-horror with Hollywood's Hallowed Grounds. Super clever, right? Not really. So anyway, I do my own collection videos occasionally showing off specific pieces. And so there's a bunch of that stuff up on there. So please go check it out. Like, subscribe, ring that bell, do all that stupid stuff, do a dance. I don't care what you do. We just need subscribers. Help me pay the bills. Come on, I can't. This stuff costs money, you know? All right, so want to go check some stuff out?
Let's do it, man.
Okay.
You're cracking me up.
Sorry. So unfortunately, I bought this light and the TR keeps shutting off. I've literally had it 2 weeks. This is what happens when you buy stuff on Etsy. So this right here, let me talk about this a little bit. This thing's a beaut. Let's walk over here, shall we? So I can sit it down. This thing's kind of heavy. So there's a gentleman named David March Fleming who online does all this Tron stuff. Pretty amazing, to be honest with you. And he does cosplaying, does full costumes, super impressive. And I saw his work and I convinced him to make me a helmet because I wanted one that was dead on. And he nailed it. This thing is way better than the real one. I mean, as far as detail, it's beautiful. He did this all by hand. Now, this is done on an actual hockey helmet, because they used hockey helmets for Tron. So this piece here, these pieces are from an actual hockey helmet. These side parts are added. This back end here was added, but it's actually a Cooper 2000. What is the actual? I can do that real quick. I can figure out real quick what it is. It's a Cooper. Have it written down. So I knew I'd want to bring this up. It is a Cooper SK2000 ice hockey helmet is what they made this on. And I bought a vintage one, shipped it to him, and he did this. How insane.
That's beautiful.
Should I be a super nerd?
Oh, you know what?
This hair can handle it, trust me. Look at that.
See, all right, why were you not wearing that?
Today?
Yeah.
I can't imagine why I didn't want to wear this all day in the streets of LA. I have no idea why.
I think you would have fit right in. Well, no, I'm sorry. We weren't in Hollywood where we live.
Oh yeah. So anyway, this thing is phenomenal. He did an amazing job. He unfortunately doesn't sell them. I mean, if you contacted him and bugged the hell out of him and offered him a little bit of this action, maybe he could be convinced to do another one. But I asked him ahead of time because I knew we'd be doing this, and he said it's not really his thing. But I talked him into it, so maybe you can. Well, this here is a cast chair back from Tron Legacy. As you can see, it doesn't say Legacy, but it's obviously the Legacy style Tron logo.
Right.
But I don't know if when they were filming, if it was gonna be called Tron Legacy. I don't know if they had a full title for it yet, but this is what the chair backs look like. And I thought this would be a nice little addition to put in front of the game.
Right, sitting there,
Yeah.
sitting in that chair.
I usually
playing the
don't
game?
sit and play. I did that. I was playing up to the camera, people. I like to stand. I like to stand when I play my games. But yeah, so I just thought that was a cool little addition to that right there. So this here is an original one sheet signed by a lot of the cast and crew. Some of the big ones, obviously, Tron himself and Jeff Bridges right there. But it's signed by the director, which is pretty cool. Steven Lisenberger signed that. And this one's really cool. Sid Mead. He's the artist who did all the concept artwork, like he created the light cycles and everything. He's also very famous for doing all the Blade Runner artwork. He unfortunately passed away a few years ago. He has a beautiful signature though. He was very arty. That's a cool one. And there's a funny story behind this signature. This is Ted White. Okay. A lot of you know him as Jason from Friday the 13th Part 4. Well, he played one of the guards in Tron, one of the Sark's guards. And when I gave it to him to sign the poster, he knew it was a Tron poster, but like a reflex, he wrote Jason 4. I was like, Ted! And he's like, oh shit, Sean. I was like, it's okay, I got a story. Now I got to use the story. So it finally paid off. Right now I get to tell the story where he actually flubbed my poster. Eddie Munster did it to me too. Butch Patrick signed my some Lidsville thing. You know, Mark was the character in Lidsville, and he wrote Eddie Munster, and I'm like, and he's like, oh, sorry. It happens. I know, I'm a nerd. So this is just a toy. This was just a toy that's sold in stores. It did light up when it had a fresh battery in it. But I was fortunate enough I worked on the Starman Blu-ray for Scream Factory, and I got to spend like an hour and a half with Jeff Bridges, interviewing him and everything, and I took advantage of that moment. Had him sign this. He put, Sean, meet you on the grid, Jeff Bridges. Wow. Yeah. I've been waiting at the grid and he hasn't shown up. I don't know. Anyway, but yep. He was. There got to be a point there where I brought like 6 items. I hate to admit, because I'm like, how do you choose, right? I brought the marquee with me. I brought that. I brought a helmet that you'll see in the other room. I brought a Starman poster, 2 Big Lebowski posters. I think I got to like the 5th item and he was like, okay. But he was super cool about it. He was cool. He was great. He was super awesome. He's the dude. I mean, he is literally the dude. He very close to that character. But this is one of my. Do you want to do?
No, keep going. Okay. Keep going. I can't wait to see what this is. It's out of frame, so it's going to come down in just a minute.
So this is one of my prized possessions. This is Jeff Bridges' highlight from Tron. And there it is. I'll take it down. Look at this thing. I mean, when you look at these things up close, you realize kind of how cheaply made they were. They're just like foam glued to like a real highlight. I don't know what you call these, highlight glove, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like foam wrapped around it with like tape.
Oh man.
And
look at that. Go ahead, turn it. Let me see the back there. Oh man. That's really cool, Sean.
Now, unfortunately, it's a little, you know, I'm not going to put my arm all the way up in it because around this area, you know, I don't want to force it in, although I've done that before. But anyhow, it's, as you can see, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
I actually showed Jeff, I didn't bring it with me. I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to show up at the interview with this thing. But I showed him a picture of like me holding it and everything. He's like, oh wow, man, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so.
That's a pretty darn good impersonation of him.
Yeah. Funny story, when I met him, the people I was talking to that set up the interview set it up at a hotel in Santa Barbara called the Hotel California. And so I had to make a comment. As I was walking with Jeff to the room, I said, you know, I thought you hated the Eagles. And he thought that was pretty funny because it's Big Lebowski, you know, yeah. He hates the Eagles. And I said, you picked the Hotel California? And he told me a funny story where he bumped into Don Henley at a party and Don Henley actually gave him crap for that whole hating the Eagles thing. And he said, you know, he was apologetic. It's a movie, blah, blah, blah. And then he turned and he goes, but I really do hate the Eagles. So I thought that was pretty funny. If you look anywhere in this house, you'll find Tron stuff. It's kind of, it's all scattered. Like, for example, if you go into some of my vinyl collection, you know, there's lots of Tron records here. We got the original soundtrack. They've got the story of Tron, you know, like the kids record. We got the reissue of the vinyl. You've got the Tron dog, who's coming up right now. These are really sought after.
Oh wow, those are cool.
Yeah, these translucent Daft Punk Tron records. These are a record store day exclusive, 3 different colors. These are really sought after. Then there's like the reissue. This just came out exclusive from Target, still sealed. Haven't even opened it yet. That it was just a different colored vinyl, and then there was this is the another limited one. I know I have another one in here somewhere. Actually, I don't even think I put it away. There's the real rare Mondo one that came out. It's in here somewheres. I got too many records. Is that a thing? Too many records? Is that possible? See, I don't think it is possible. But let's see. I think it's back here. Let's find out. Let's find that Tron record, shall we? Because it's really cool. It's a very nice one. This is my I haven't listened to. There it is.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't listened to yet, and haven't put it away yet.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So how many different versions of the same soundtrack can you have? JC, how many, bro?
Jessica and I, we're collectors. We collect multiples of the same thing, so we get it. Any horror collector gets it.
Yeah. I mean, I've even got like the 7-inch vinyl of the story of Tron, you know, with the picture book. I mean, you know, this is Tron. This is Little Tron. No, this is JC, but he loves Tron. He watched it with me last night, actually. True story. He was laying right next to me the whole time. I don't think he paid attention.
Hello, JC.
JC, Johnny Cash, the dog in black. But in the other room, we got lots of Tron goodies.
The sensory overload room.
This is your brain explode in here. Lots of stuff. So right here, this is the original 4 Tomy action figures from Tron. They did reissue them. NECA reissued them, but these are the originals in their original packaging. And again, they did do reissues with a different card, and then they did a retro card, but it says NECA instead of Tomy on it. So, the original 4. So we got a few things up here. This is mega rare. So, although the Tron electronic game, you can find them, but this is the Japanese version, and it's freaking mint in the box. This thing is gorgeous. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and I got this in Tokyo. I was in Tokyo for a convention, and I went to a collectible store that sold mostly like giant robot-y type stuff. And let me come down here. Take a look at this bad boy. And I saw this and lost my mind because it is absolutely perfect with the instructions and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Brand new. It's like brand new. And I was like, oh my God, I must have it. And I love this. This is one of my prized Tron pieces as far as collectibles, you know, like the memorabilia. But the fact it's the Japanese one, just, yeah, so much more badass, you know. This is a sealed Intellivision Tron Mesotron video game cartridge.
I had no idea that some of this stuff even existed.
Yeah, I didn't even own an Intellivision. I just had to have this. I saw it sealed in the box, and I'm like, must have it, must have it. And then got a few of these. It's funny, I actually bought a few, and then my girlfriend, surprised me with, she bought me a few. So now I got a bunch of these they're movie theater cups.
Yeah, I vaguely remember those whenever I was a kid.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
I love this type of artwork like they did with the classic like Star Wars Burger King glasses and stuff. It's just super cool artwork. And I got them displayed here next to an empty box of trading cards with some wrappers, but I just like the display, thought I'd keep it. How about the Tron Yo-Yo with video action? What does that mean? I have no idea, but it has it. It has it because it says it has it. Glow-in-the-dark Tron Yo-Yo with video action.
That's insane, man.
Maybe the video action is it spins. I'm assuming that's the video action. I don't know. I do have newer stuff too. Like for example, this like San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Kubrick Bear Rubik, I think it's called. I always say Kubrick because it looks like Kubrick and it's Clockwork Orange font.
Yeah,
yeah. But anyway, this was limited to 1,500. I mean, I know back behind all these figures, there's more and more, but it gets crazy. I got stuff stacked on top of stuff, stacked on top of stuff. I'm just gonna pull a few things down.
All right.
Let's see. I thought this was cool just because they did it like a VHS clamshell.
Oh man.
You know, and it's
I feel like I'm going treasure hunting.
yeah. I think, yeah. See, and it's got inside. See?
Oh my God. All right, that's nice.
I mean, and I know for a fact, deep in these stacks are even more toys, Tron toys that aren't accessible. I fight for the users. Bruce Boxleitner Tron, signed. Come on, beautiful thing.
And he's digging for more.
I'm digging. This is me digging for you, the people. You'll regret this. David Warner, Sark. How cool is that? This is a little replica of the video game from San Diego Comic-Con 2010. Limited edition, 1,500 made.
Oh, wow.
And what's cool about it is you push this button, and it's kind of lighting up. It used to really light up. The battery needs to be replaced, but you can open it.
Oh, jeez Louise.
How cool is that?
That's amazing.
You can sort of see it light up.
Oh, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, it used to really light up. It needs a new battery. Not a big pop guy. I do have a few, but if I have an opportunity to get a cool, like, exclusive pop like this and have David Warner sign it, then of course I'm going to do it, you know?
Heckins, yeah.
It's pretty sweet. And then you can't have a Sark without a Tron, you know? You needs it. You got to have it. You got to have it. Got to.
You're making me lose my gourd here, Clark.
Well, you know, all this stuff is awesome, you know, but the reality is, the sad reality is you can't take it with you. And someday all this stuff, you might be watching this video 50 years from now and you're going to go, I got that. I got that from Sean's collection when he died, when he had too many Big Macs and he had that massive heart attack. I got that. That's the truth. You know, as morbid as it is, it's true. All this stuff is going to be somebody else's someday, you know. And
well, I have a question for you.
But it's fun. It's fun.
Building off what you were just talking about, you know, you can't take it with you. One of the things that Jessica and I, the Grimm Life Collective, pride our channel on is not so much the things that we collect, but the memories that we're building.
Yeah.
Now, obviously you have a lot in your collection, but when it comes to Tron, I've asked many celebrities this, but I need to ask you. When it comes to Tron, your lifetime of collecting and in your career, do you have something or anything where you go, man, I can't believe I have that, or I was a part of that, or I witnessed that, or what's your most cherished Tron memory?
My most cherished Tron memory?
Yeah. Keep it Tron.
I mean, dude, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I mean, my most cherished Tron memory obviously has to be seeing the movie for the first time. Edwards Cinema West in Garden Grove. I went and saw it, and I'll never forget that experience because, you know, people look at Tron now and you go, you know, it's kind of corny looking, whatever. Back then, in 1982, it was mind-blowing. What they achieved had never been achieved before. And honestly, it hasn't really been achieved since, the way they actually did that movie by animating each individual film cell. It's a piece of art, that film. Whether you think the movie's cornball or not, artistically, it's such an achievement that you have to give them props, man. I mean, it's, you know, I've spent quite a bit of money on Tron stuff, but I feel like it's going to retain and increase in value because it's one of those films that was a game changer. It's gonna go down in history after we're long gone as a film they're always gonna reference back to because of, you know, what it did, right. You know. So, but beyond just seeing it for the first time, I mean, I guess one of the there's a photo I'll send you that you can show here, where I was at a convention, this was 2 years ago maybe, and I actually now work with Dan Shore, who played Ram in Tron. He's also, a lot of people don't know this, they don't make the connection. He was Billy the Kid in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, same guy. But I was with him, and I was hanging out with him and David Warner and Cindy Morgan and Bruce Boxleitner, you know, because I'm there working with them, and we go in to do the group photo ops and stuff. And I'm like, wow, how trippy is this? Being the little kid watching this movie in the theater, I'm hanging with them now. Like I'm working with them in a capacity, you know, that, and they all know me by name. David doesn't know me. I've only met David twice, but like Bruce knows me by name. You know, friggin' Tron says, Sean, how are you, man? I'm like, Alan won. You know, you know, it's like, it's crazy, you know, it's surreal. These kind of things in my life, it's a very surreal thing that these people that I idolize and look up to, obviously, a lot of these people here that you see autographs from and memorabilia from are close friends of mine and work associates now. I'm one of the luckiest schmucks you'll ever meet. I mean, I'm just a fan that got lucky. Right place, right time. People ask me all the time, dude, how did you get into this? What classes did you take in college? I'm like, dude, I barely graduated high school. I just got lucky, you know? Yes, there is some skill to what I do. I do have a good head for business and relations and whatnot, but I really got lucky, you know? So this is an extremely rare boxed Tomy light cycle. Now they did 3 different colors. They did orange, blue, and yellow. Or was it red? Red, blue, and yellow, sorry. And this is the yellow one. This is the only of the 3 I have. I'd love to have all 3, but finding these loose is tough. I mean, in a box in this condition, like near impossible. It was only $7.99 at KB Toys. That was KB? No, Larry. Never heard of Larry. Anyway, got this at a toy show not a toy show, a convention. I was at a convention. One advantage to working the conventions like I do is I get in before the public does, because I'm setting up and whatnot for my clients. Then I'll scour the dealer's room. That's right, I'm one of those jerks that gets the good stuff. So I came across this dealer that had this, and it was $75, and I'm like, sold. And I bought it on the spot. First day of the convention, 3-day convention. I'm walking around 3 days later. So this thing usually goes for $250. The guy sees me and he goes, oh, you got the light cycle, right? I go, yeah. And he goes, I undersold that. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I was wrong on the price. It's a lot more than 75. And I go, yeah, it sucks. Bummer. You know, I mean, it's 2 days later. Well, here, let me give you some more cash. I was like, hey, bro, them's the breaks. You know, I mean, is that a dick move? I don't know, because it's like,
not.
I bought it. It was the price. I paid for it. And now you realized you priced it wrong. You need to do a better job, Holmes. This is the way I look at it. He learned a lesson.
Right.
So you can thank me for helping him learn that lesson. So anyway, light cycle, beautiful.
Beautiful indeed.
All right. Oh, I just realized I've got that Tron helmet over there. Forgot that one. So this is the first Tron helmet replica I bought. A guy makes these online, and they're pretty cool, especially for the price. It wasn't that expensive, but I had Jeff Bridges sign this. Said Sean Flynn lives, Jeff Bridges. Pretty stoked on this. But what's cool about this is if you put a light inside of it, as you can see,
oh wow,
it lights it up. You know?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that cool? I had it displayed with a light before, but now that I got that other replica that looks so much better, I went ahead and, you know, replaced it. This has a nice spot in my toy room though. This is very rare, mail-in only beach towel. Tron beach towel in insane pristine condition. Get ready.
Oh, wow.
How dope is that?
That's pretty freaking dope.
It's so cool, like I want to frame it and like put it up.
You
know?
should.
Well, if you might have noticed, I don't have a lot of wall space left.
Your ceilings are looking pretty bare.
I could put it on the ceiling, but I got to get rid of this shitty popcorn ceiling. This is
That thing is massive.
yeah.
So it was mail-in only?
Yeah, this was you could only get this towel through a mail-in offer. So I was fortunate enough to find a collector.
Hold on right there, because it looks like you got little legs.
Oh.
There you go. All right.
I'm all waste. So this is my prized possession of my Tron collection. It is Tron's helmet himself. Tron's helmet, worn by actor Bruce Boxleitner. This is the real deal.
Wow.
As you can see, looks way cheaper than the one I showed you earlier that David March Fleming made for me. His is far superior, but you know, you can see some of the stickers have come off, some of the black tape. Some are coming off in certain spots, you know, but this is I think one of maybe 3 that Bruce used in the film. This one says Bruce #2 on the inside.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Yeah. I don't know why it says Bruce #2 then crossed out and 2 written again, but whatever.
So I have to ask you, and you don't have to do it now, but did you ever put it on?
I didn't, because it seems like it's smaller than the other one I have, like a hair smaller, because the one I think I had David make for me was a size large helmet. I think this is probably a medium, and I have a bigger head, and this foam is pretty crispy. I don't want to risk stretching it and putting it on my head.
But you thought about it.
Oh, I come in here at night naked and hold it and think about putting it on, but I don't.
That's why there's a weird spot on the rug.
I just want to throw out that I'm nude when I do it. It's no big deal. It's, you know, Tron fans do Tron things.
There you go.
There's no real clothes on the grid. So, but yeah, this is the real deal, man.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I never thought in a million years I'd own Tron's helmet. 12-year-old Sean sitting in the theater watching this film. I mean, I rewatched it last night and I was like looking at it, you know, obviously there was a couple helmets, so I don't know exactly which scene mine's in, but just knowing that that's probably it right there, I'm watching right now, is insane, you know. Paid way too much for it, I will say that, way too much, but you know what? Again, you can't take it with you, and money included. You can't take money with you either. Nope. So I can get hit by a bus tomorrow. All that money that I had saved up ain't gonna do me no good, Dad. So might as well enjoy it. It gives me pleasure. I walk in here, I touch it, I feel good. It's an honor to have this in my collection, and let you Tron fans know out there that it's in good hands.
It's being taken care of.
It is being taken care of. Now it's got to go back to the case. And just so you know, I'm having an insane custom case built for this, because I literally just got this within the last month. I'm having a pretty amazing case built for this that you would all be proud of.
And with that being said, thank you for joining us on another Grimm adventure, this time entering the world of Tron, or shall I say entering the grid, right, Sean?
Actually, the world of Sean.
The world of Sean. And as always,
Sean Legacy.
Sean Legacy?
Yeah, why not, right?
Why not?
Okay.
Happy Halloween.
Merry Christmas.
No, wrong holiday.
It's not Merry Christmas. Don't you guys always say Merry Christmas?
Well, there is, to be fair, some Nightmare Before Christmas overlay of the Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion holiday stuff right here in the...
Look at that.
So that's why it's fitting. Happy Halloween and Merry Christmas.
Fair enough, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Till next time, happy Halloween.
Wherever I come, bad luck just comes my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.